boom! My name is King Legacy, the 7-star general, the host of Yard Settings on Assassin Radio, an award winner as well, and MC for Legacy Sound International. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, tune into the Lion Voice, because time to tell our own story. So are you me, man? The lion coming on and boom and tell its own story. Africa and the world. Tune in, Lion Voice.
We're in the coronation season. So we are talking about the coronation, but we're relating it to the Rastafari man standard, because as we go through all of these different elevations, different crownings, we want to look at how does this relate to the modern Rastafari man. We don't just want to look at the history and look at the history as something that has no impact today. We're still a young tradition. So that means that we're still really looking and defining. Our elders went through great persecution and didn't have the space. They were on survival. We want to evolve the trot beyond survival, beyond hustling to make ends meet, to survive into a thriving nation, prosperous nation, which we believe that nation will help to be the glue of this rising Africa.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Yo. I'm here writing all these model scrolls. Has a redemption for bloodshed on Sodom Road. Stories of trigger happy now to shot all of his foes. This is the outcome of 500 years down here in the West. Mothers forced to manual labor with no rest. The cost of living in the West is leaving us penniless. Loudly I hear the cries of my peoples being released out of cages of desert eagles, leaving the victim garment see-through. If you overstand the level, he who feels it knows the down pressure of the devil. Cross the Pope in the fire, Gideon black rebels. My sword is my word manifested in flesh. Blessed to get it used to homeless with a place to rest. Selassie say clothes the naked, shelter for the shelterless. Babylon you can't govern because your heart is too dirty. Behold the lion of Judah, he get loaned is worthy.
So heal his majesty. Heal him, King of glory. Heal him, might of the Trinity. Rastafari crown every African free. So heal his majesty. Heal him, King of glory. Heal him, might of the Trinity. Rastafari crown every African free.
I'm Bessa, trample the down presser. Work for the youths, the mothers, the ancestors. Bad situation must get better. Weak by ourselves, but we must stand together. Stop being deaders, grow out your dreaders. You need your locks like the chicken needs its feathers. Chant forever, the king reigns forever. Don't get caught in the Babylon pleasure. Watch the flames get redder, chains get scarcer. Lock down the planes and you're stuck in the area.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Panafrican Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of the Lion's Voice. Welcome to the Lion's Voice and welcome to the Lion Voice Network. We are here on Lion Voice, our flagship program on the network, where we talk about topics that impact the modern direction of the Rastafari movement, the Pan-African movement, humanity in general. So we are here today with a very special topic. We're in the coronation season. Today marks the coronation or the crowning of His Imperial Majesty as Negus, October 7th. Very special day. It's gaining prominence globally in Rastafari as one of the days to celebrate. You know, in the beginning we celebrated, the focus was on November 2nd, but you know, we've used this term, the Triple Crown, and we see that His Majesty was elevated to the title of Ras on September 27th, crowned as Negus on October 7th, and then crowned the Gusanagas November 2nd. So it gives us season, although, you know, I'm big up to the comment section, you know, pointed out that yes, he was not crowned actually in a formal ceremony until February 11th. However, he had all of the responsibility, all of, you know, it was just a formality. At February 11th, there was actually a war that was fought in between September 27th and February 11th, the famous attack of Addis Ababa by King Mikael, Negus Mikael, formerly Muhammad Ali, Lidj father. So we're in the coronation season. So we are talking about the coronation, but we are relating it to the Rastafari man standard, because as we go through all of these different elevations, different crownings, you know, we want to look at how does this relate to the modern Rastafari man. We don't just want to look at the history and look at the history as something that has no impact today. We're still a young tradition, so that means that we're still really looking and defining. Our elders went through great persecution and didn't have the space. You know, they were on survival. We want to evolve the trad beyond survival, beyond hustling to make ends meet, to survive, into a thriving nation, prosperous nation, which we believe that nation will help to be the glue of this rising Africa, because Rastafari represent, you know, descendants of all different tribes that were taken captive and some that remain at home. You know, this Rastafari family, the Rastafari ethos, allows us to rise above tribalism, to become that oneness, and to create the culture, you know, through our creatives and through our creative industry. And this shouldn't be surprising, because if we look at the inspiration in Southern Africa, it was Rastafari music. Who was singing that revolutionary reggae music? It was Rastafari, and this is why Rastafari have that respect across the continent. However, now that we are evolving, we want to establish some standards, because we're moving away from that initial uprising of the elders and that survival, which there was a certain level of militancy that came with that survival, a certain level of tradition. Now we have ones coming from all different backgrounds, all different socio-economic settings. So we don't want this thing watered down into a hippie type of format, or just you do what you feel like, red, gold, and green, and you burn a spliff and you're a Rastafari. No. Rastafari, we are saying, has been established, and how it was established was through the life of His Imperial Majesty. Now, we cannot live the exact same life as Rastafari or Rastafari. That's not gonna happen. But we can look at what are the milestones, what are the lessons, what were the irates of what he was doing. And today we want to look at Ras. Last strong, we look at the Dejazmatch, all of the things he was to get crowned as Ras. So we had to look at what the responsibilities he was doing as the Dejazmatch. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch that episode, and we related forward to the Rastafari man. Today we want to talk about, you know, Ras. This title of Ras, this is very popular around the world. Ras this, Ras that. You know, I told the story that my elders call I Rasquasi to this day. You know, some of the elders still will call I that. Most of the elders will call I Rasquasi. So 1 and 2 was call I the Dejazmatch. But those who know I from early days, they call I Rasquasi. So this title of Ras, you know, we wanted to have some meaning within the movement. And what I'm talking about, family, it's not necessarily just one entity that's certifying. There could be multiple entities that are certifying. You know, the family can agree to certain basic standards, but it could be Bobo Shanti certification here, Nyabingi certification there, 12 Tribal certified there, House of Dread have its certification. You know, the different entities within Rastafari could have their own certification, but we all know that we're working with a basic standard that's based on the life of His Imperial Majesty. So I can say, yeah, man, my name so and so, and you know, say, House of Dread, me get my certification for Ras, you know, and it's Ras so and so. So me know that this is a man with certain basic competence, and is a Ras in more than just title. You know what I mean? So these are things that we are reasoning about. Is it necessary? Drop a comment. You know, we have a lot of ones who are very opinionated. I don't mind. You know, and big up all of the comment section. Big up the comment of the strong sister from East Africa who has been commenting. I just want to take the opportunity to big up the sister. You know, we love the comments. Then we'll see the comments. I put the comment up on the screen. I don't want to butcher the pronunciation of the name, but the item can see the sister has been commenting. So I just want to give her the commenter of the strong. And remember, just drop your comments. We're looking through the comments. We got to the stage now where I can't answer all of the comments. I'm trying. I go forward and I'll answer comments randomly. But we love the comments. We read all of the comments. So please drop the comment. Also, it helps to send out the algorithm. You know, it helps the algorithm to suggest it to more people. Big up everyone who's been sharing the content. Big up everyone who has subscribed to the content. We are now at 1,800 subscribers. Yes, we've gone through 1,700s. We just fly through that. Now we're at 18. We're on the road to 2,000. Let's get us to 2,000. We have over 13,000 unique viewers, and we only have 1,800 subscribers. So that means a whole heap of people watching the content not subscribing. So you love the content, or you like the content, or it's interesting content, hit the subscribe button. Also, do remember you can jump in the Patreon. We're building Rastafari platform. I want to big up Ija Rastafari YouTuber, one of the largest YouTube platform. Drop a positive comment. We love that because Rastafari media is rising. We're going to connect all of the dots, family. Don't worry yourself. This is the Dejazmatch Kwasi here talk. So the item will learn how I move over the time, you know, and you can go forward to the earlier episodes and you can see some of the work. This is not a talk shop. I'm reasoning with the family globally, and we're building a lion pride. I'm building an audience that is fine-tuned. You know, we want to make some economic impact. Big up the lion pride. We had Dotty Bookman on, and I asked the lion pride to go to Dotty Bookman Express or Bookman Express Publishing and spend some money. And this is how we want to use the lion pride, is to really have some impact out there so that we can build some infrastructure for Rastafari first, and then by doing that we strengthen the whole Pan-African family. But Rastafari, the core, have to be solid. So you don't have to be a Rastafari brethren or assistant to be active in the lion pride. You just have to love the culture that we represent and want to support it. The first mission of the lion pride is to get this platform self-sustainable. We only have 3 people in the Patreon right now. I need more of the lion pride for running on the Patreon. $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can afford. $5 a month. I have sister in there who give $5, and trust me, I give thanks for the $5 where we get every month from the sister. So though this is big or small, if you can buy a cup of coffee out there in Babylon, support a Rastafari own media platform and let us rise. So Patreon, make sure you support that. Let us also support the merch. You can see the merchandise here. We have the Reading Ras merchandise. Big up Reading Ras. Hold on 1 second. And you can see I had to go for my Haile portrait of His Majesty. But support the t-shirts. You can go to the website, get your Reading Ras t-shirt. We have different designs, different styles. You see the ads at the beginning of the episode. These are all ways that you can help support the platform, help us to grow, help us to become self-sufficient, be able to employ people, and, build a Rastafari owned production studio on the content, pumping out content for the Rastafari family globally. And again, anything that we are pumping out for the Rastafari family immediately is going to have Pan-African applications. So again, we just ask the family, support the platform. We love the growth. We love the word sound. Again, everything is growing. So we give thanks. Now we want to see some capital invested from the family who can. If you're just watching and subscribing and that's all the item can do, we give thanks, because that's more than great, because we're using the watch time. Those who are watching, subscribers help with the YouTube ad revenue, but we don't want to depend on the ad revenue. Also, make sure you go to the website and drop your email so we have your direct to consumer contact. The name of the game for content creators right now is direct to consumer. YouTube, IG, Facebook, all of these are middlemen who are between us and the consumer. We're using the platforms, and check out my interview with I Never Knew TV founder Junior, masterclass on content creation and dealing with the YouTube platform. Check that out. Lion Talk, the latest episode, doing very well on the channel, but check it out. It's a masterclass right now.
Greatest time ever, yo, because one, I think that you don't have to have the filter. You don't have to work somewhere where you're so limited in regards to what you want.
Yeah.
You can interview anybody you want to interview.
Yeah.
And you can touch any topic you want to touch, right?
Yeah.
And also, like, you have the direct to consumer. Even though YouTube is a medium, and people have this idea, right? They say, oh, YouTube's not your own thing, but the amount of money you have to pay on servers and everything else to have your own platform that can take in that amount of traffic for people to watch it. People don't understand. They don't understand that part. So, yes, YouTube takes a percentage, but you don't have to do any of that stuff. You get what I'm saying? You're not worried about any type of technological breakdowns or upgrades or anything on the platform. So it's but yeah, it's definitely a great time. I see it as the new media. I don't think people are visualizing it as they should. I really see it as a new format of media, because you have many people who watch. I don't like the YouTube channel name too tough, but I'll use it for this context. They'll watch a YouTube channel more than they watch mainstream media.
That's true.
And that's for a lot of people.
A lot of people.
And that we don't even know about, because they have their own.
Included.
All right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's just
I watch way more YouTube than I do mainstream.
So
media.
that's the future in a sense, and it's just that's why I'm excited about the future. Not only with doing interviews and other projects we're working on, but I just feel this is a new form of media, and if someone's serious about it and can kind of locking down their customer base, it can be done.
Mighty. So you just have to know that the direct-to-consumer relationship is really how we're going to build our own independent media apparatus. And if they lock us off of YouTube, if I have the email, whatever the platform is, even if it's a newsletter, for a time, we can get the information out. We can get the content out to the people. And this is going to be crucial as we move forward on this Armageddon, Iowa. So plug in, tap in, make us build. Now, forward to the topic. However, before I get into the topic, I want to address something that, some disturbing things that have been coming across the timeline. I want to take some time to just reason with my Oromo brothers and sisters. Ethiopia is the second largest audience that this channel has. We have done a lot of Ethiopian content. Naturally, we're talking about the emperor Empress Menen, all of those things. So naturally, this is Ethiopian history. That's our second biggest demographic, particularly when we address the Fano uprising, which is the Amhara uprising in Ethiopia. I've been seeing some disturbing pictures crossing my timeline, and I want to talk to my Oromo brothers because I'm seeing brethren burning the red, gold, and green flag. I don't know if brethren understand how serious this is. This is bigger than tribal politics. This is unacceptable, my family, Oromo family. This red, gold, and green stand for all Africa. This is the rallying point. This is the rainbow circle throne of the Almighty represented in a flag. We cannot burn our boots because we know that there's always wild, characters in every operation. I'm hearing that the red, gold, and green has been banned by the government. I want some information. If ones have any sources, drop them in the comments so we can do some further investigation. But I'm hearing some disturbing things out of Zion and the throne room. All of Africa is Zion to I and I. But out of the throne room, we're hearing some disturbing things, some disturbing video as the item can see. So we want to just inform the family that this is happening and that we all have to really pray for a peaceful resolution because it don't look good, and we know that people are being paid. We know that their divide and rule is their only plan. So I'm just imploring my Oromo brethren and sistren, negotiation table is where this thing needs to go. Do not be used as a tool to undermine or slow the unification of the African continent. We have bigger things to deal with right now. Resource management, the rising of the living standards of the people. Ethiopia was growing at a 9% growth rate. Love it or not, the infrastructure was growing, built on the foundation that His Majesty set. Malay is implementing the plans that His Majesty set. Ethiopia was seeing unparalleled growth. People were saying, just Addis, but the other cities were also developing and prosperity rising. So my Oromo family, the negotiating table, if things are not being distributed in a Haile fashion, use the court of public opinion, inform us, because we will advocate for the item just as we are advocating for the flag. The global Pan-African family is concerned, and you cannot undermine the role that Ethiopia play in global Pan-African history and that the red, gold, and green play in Ethiopian history. And the fact that I'm seeing young soldiers burning the flag shows that people them don't have that overstanding. If it's indeed true that the government has banned the flag, then it just shows that there's not that overstanding. If they want to say it's Fano is using the flag as a rallying point, you can't say that because this is the Ethiopian national colors from that time. The other African nations have adopted these colors because of Ethiopia's role. So this is something that not Rastafari people making up, So we're just putting out that sound into creation. We're praying our Oromo brethren and sistren, spread that word sound. The flag should be off limits, We want to take off the blue star. That's a different story. Yeah, we can be aligned on that because 5-pointed star, how that drop in, over the Lion of Judah. No, that we can talk about. But in terms of burning the red, gold, and green that's white supremacy program. That's the only flag where white supremacy know them never, could conquer. And we want to burn that flag. That don't make no sense. So, family, I just want to put out that sound. Inform the Rastafari family. Coronation time. ISIS make we chant to release the mental chains and pray for the peace of Ethiopia. All right now. So that aside, let's go into the topic, which is the crowning of Negos. Ras Tafari crowned as Negos So we have to look at what was he doing as Ras that made the people, because how the story is told in the autobiography, the nobles came to him and said, there was a plot against Empress Zaidito. Some man started plotting against Rastafari. Don't like how he's administrating because he's moving people around in the provinces. He's running the government, so he's making it more efficient. He's giving them different appointments, different things, and before these nobles were used to running how they want to. Who is this Tafari who, coming off a Ras McCunnin line, which is the female line? You're not even coming off of the male descent line. So there were other nobles who felt they had a better claim than him. There were other nobles that just felt like this little small, little scrawny youth. Who him think him is? You know what I mean? So it wasn't well, but they couldn't really openly oppose him because life is getting better. We just talked about the developmental plan His Majesty implemented, and this is what distinguishes His Majesty from most world leaders. He was getting things done. And this is where the detractors and the haters' arguments then pop down most of the time, because you can't argue against the literal work. You can't argue that 1930 there was only one paved road to the building of modern infrastructure. So money wasn't being siphoned and thief. Money is being invested in the nation, in the building of the nation. And this is the work that started, as Ras, when he really became the head of the government, carrying out, and the elevation to Negos meant he didn't have to no longer consult with Empress Zaidito, because as Ras, heir to the throne, plenipotentiary, he still had to consult with Empress Zaidito and get certain little permission to deal with his agenda. So we're going to talk about what were 5 things that we can learn from Ras Tafari in order to have that ultimate elevation to Negos, because I feel in the liberty that's the highest that most ones will attain is that Negos. Now, Negus and Nagas, I say all for one, one for all, one emperor, one empress, that is how I'm on cited, However, we acknowledge everyone's right to call themselves what they would like to call themselves, but collectively, as a movement, the Rastafari man who we're asking to lead us into the future, and as I told good brethren Dotty Boatman, yes, because someone's blocking the sound about partnership and these things. In a kingdom, the king is the head, and we strongly and firmly believe that Ras mean head, you know what I mean? So when a man take on the title of Ras, that means he's the head, and the head have certain responsibilities, and I also always say accountability, you know what I mean? So the Ras mean head. Cannot emphasize that enough. So I want to talk about 5 things that Ras was doing, Rastafari was doing, how we can relate it to the Rastafari man standard, and that is going to be our episode for today. We have some big interviews for drop, people. Don't never stop recording. I have a special announcement that I will be making next strong on the Lion Voice in reference to what I'll be doing for the coronation, because I will be traveling for the coronation. I'll announce where we'll be going to shortly. So big things happening on the Lion Voice network. We'll be getting some exclusive interviews when we travel on location. We're touching the road again. So, for those who love the Lion Voice vlog when we're on the road, you're going to get some of that. So if you haven't subscribed, again, subscribe, because we're going places with this. Trust I. So let's jump in. 5 qualities of a Ras. So before Ayman, for example, take on the title of Ras fully, and leave the Dejazmatch KWASI, we'll maintain that, of course. as a brand and as a standard and as a portion of life that we live. You know what I mean? And we'll have a record that will detail the work that we accomplished during that time. But when we really fully embrace the title of Ras, I'm saying that as a brethren, there should be certain criteria that a brethren who call himself Ras should meet. Number one should be the building of a network. You know, you should have an established network at this time. What we use from Rastafari time is that during his time as Ras, this is when he started sending the students abroad. You know, he would identify bright Ethiopians and he sent them abroad for training. He was also building his relationships in the church amongst the nobles, but you know, making sure he had his own network, which was young working class Ethiopians that he sent abroad, a lot of times at his own expense, that would be responsible for carrying out the work of government. So, in the same way as a Ras, this is your time. You should be building your network. You know, whatever your vision, your passion is, now is the time to elevate and put people in position to be able to carry out whatever that work is. And that work should be one of the aspects of the creed. It should have some relation. What is the creed? Hungry fed, naked clothed, sick nourished, age protected, infants cared for, ignorant educated. One of them pillars there. Your purpose should help to further that, and that's broad, so it could be anything within that realm. But you should be building your network. That is, again, what Rastafari was doing when he was sending the students abroad. Number two thing that you need as a Ras, if you call yourself Ras, you should have an economic base. Now, that don't mean say it's just university brethren alone. You could be a farmer, but your farm should be running and viable. You should be employing people. If a man says a Ras, he should be a man that is employing people, causing economy to run. The example we use is that during the tenure of Ras Tafari, this is when he established the printing press in Ethiopia with his own funds, his own initiative, bringing the printing press, brought in the first part from Germany, and then subsequently brought in parts from New York, started publishing a paper. The printing press was employing 30 Ethiopians. You know what I mean? So these are touchable things that we can look at as a Ras. What is the behavior of a Ras? I am putting forward to the family that the Rases in our community should have a network that they are building. They should have economically viable. They should be a business owner, meaning that they are employing people. They might run a payroll. You know, these are both things that are making the community a better place and a sustainable place and a viable place. The Rases should be the ones who are ensuring that. We're doing that now spiritually. And big up every Ras out there. However, as I said, we have to implement structure. The current status quo that is happening is not sustainable, and we're seeing that by the retention rates of the youths. And we're seeing the ones that are coming in now, they're not as firm in their chud as the ones who went through the Great Tribulation. You know what I mean? So we have to implement some standards. So two things we block up. Number three is that if you're a Ras, you should have some international travel under your belt. We have to acknowledge the monumental trod 1924 trod His Majesty trod to the Middle East, Northeast Africa. Where's the Middle West and the Middle North and the Middle South? Northeast Africa. So he trod to Palestine and he trotted to Europe. You know, go and see the world. You know, he trotted to Egypt on that same trip. Go and see the world. You know what I mean? if you're a Ras, you should have some international travel under your belt. That means you have a global perspective. You know, just start from where you watch by internet or where you're reading a book. You've been places. You know what I mean? These are three things in terms of a Ras. And these are things that you would have to achieve to be elevated to Negos. Because, of course, we're celebrating today, October 7th, the elevation of Ras Tafari to Negos. But we're now looking at what are the things that a Ras should have. And we're trying to apply it to a modern standard. If you have any ideas, put them in the chat. Make we have the reasoning. Think of foolishness, put it in the reasoning same way. Because we're not thin skin around here, you know. Number 4, diplomatic relationships or diplomatic relation. So that means the ability to build relations with all people of all nations. This is when His Majesty during his Ras tenure had Ethiopia admitted into the League of Nations. So as a Ras, you should have brethren from all races and categories around the world. You know what I mean? Your brethren over in Russia, your brethren in Switzerland, you have a brethren in Australia, you have a brethren in Brazil, you have a brethren in, you know, because you're a Ras, you're a head, you're a man that can get things done, you're a man that is moving the nation that depend on the Ras them to get certain things done, to make sure, you know, it's something that a little child, a youth can aspire to, just like he can aspire to be a doctor. We want our youth to say, you know what, I want to be a Ras. And these are the things that a Ras should have. International connection, diplomatic relation, you know, a network that they can rely on of ones that are there for the, you know, to help them fulfill their purpose, whether not some, you know, a business owner who has employees. You know, this is a man of stature within the community, a Ras, certified by his peers, you know, and we create a elevation, you know. We have to train our brethren, you know what I mean, to lead this nation, the family. That is what I'm saying. And then number 5 is the building of institutions. You know, when you reach the Ras stage, your concern should be the building of institutions for the family. So, the building of institutions, Rastafari built the Tafari McCunning School for Boys during this time. Other institutions were being developed. So this should be, you know, one of the sole purposes is building and strengthening institutions. So once you call yourself a Ras, we should be able to tie you to some institutions. And every Ras should have a school named after them. I went to Hunter's Glen. I went to Agnes McPhail. I went to Banting and Bess. I went to Albert Campbell. These are all schools I went to growing up in Canada. I don't know these people. Well, Banting and Bess, big up Banting and Bess, the discoverers of insulin. 2 Canadian, big them up same way, you know, we have to big them up. But the rest of them, I don't know who these people are. So why would we not want to have, when we are building Zion, you know, a Ras this school, a Ras that school? So all of the Ras them build a school, you know what I mean? Because now you're a business owner, you have capital, you have a network that can help you to implement, to source the school, to make sure the school have a strong support system. You know, you have international relations that can come at the school and give some strength. All of these things. So institution building, it might not be a school, you might say as a health center, you know, solar powered and whole heap of sunlight and atrium and garden. You know, it might be a community garden, it might be something, but there should be some institution building as a Ras. So these are just thoughts that we're putting out there to put some standards in place, general standards. And you notice me now putting a Naya Bingi standard. Now, being 12 tribe standard, these are based on His Imperial Majesty. So this is Rastafari standard. This is why we call it the Rastafari man standard. It's based off of the life. So the source of each requirement comes from things that actually were lived, and example and blueprint that were set. How you feel, people? A foolishness may attack? Drop a comment. We want to hear from the item. Again, if you can support the platform, support the platform. As you can see, the world is in turmoil. Whole heap of things are happening. We're going to continue to bring you workers from the front line. We're going to continue to reason about the building of Zion, to help to craft and create Zion culture, have reasonings about what Zion culture looks like. We're forward thinking. We're forward moving. We're not going to get caught up in the land of forgetfulness. We're not going to get caught up in the mix up and have it distract us from building an alternative to what's happening right now. Big up I Never Knew TV, Brother Junior interview with Shirazad Ali, talking about all of the nastiness we are going out the road right now. And how the people them are behave like beasts. What is the alternative that we are bringing forward, family, as Rastafari, as people who chant about Zion and all these things? What is the alternative look like? Do we have solution, or are we just smoking herb and listening to reggae music? I know the truth that we are building solutions because I'm part of that number. So we're bringing it here on YouTube, on the second largest platform. And why are we bringing it here on the second largest platform? Lion Pride know what to go on. We're bringing it here because the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion Voice.
Lion Voice.
Yo. I'm here writing on these model scrolls. Has a redemption for bloodshed on Sodom Road. Stories of trigger happy now to shot all of his foes. This is the outcome of 500 years down here in the West. Mothers forced to manual labor with no rest. The cost of living in the West is leaving us penniless. Loudly I hear the cries of my peoples being released out the cages of desert eagles, leaving the victim garment see-through. If you overstand the level, he who feels it knows the down pressure of the devil. Cross the Pope in the fire, Gideon black rebels. My sword is my word manifested in flesh. Blessed to get it used the homeless with a place to rest. Selassie say clothes the naked, shelter for the shelterless. Babylon you can't govern because your heart is too dirty. Behold the Lion of Judah, he get loaned is worthy.
So hail his majesty. Hail him, King of glory. Hail him, might of the Trinity. Rastafari crown every African priest. So hail his majesty. Hail him, King of glory. Hail him, might of the Trinity. Rastafari crown every African priest.
I'm Bessa, trample the down presser. Work for the youths, the mothers, the ancestors. That situation must get better. Weak by ourselves, but we must stand together. Stop being deaders, grow out your dreaders. You need your locks like the chicken needs its feathers. Chant forever, the king reigns forever. Don't get caught in the Babylon pleasure. Watch the flames get redder, chains get scarcer. Lock down the planes and you're stuck in the area. When Wall Street crashed, the foolish passed. The wise man up in the hills with his store to last. There's more to grasp in this life than just horse with ass. Stores of cash and you blinking when the poor man passed. It's never too small to share, food or gear. I'm a Gideon, are you prepared? I move to kick and I move to snare. Two things that don't move me is doubt and fear. Cause the great king is everywhere, in water and land, in man and air. So
hail his majesty. Hail him, King of glory. Hail him, might of the Trinity. Rastafari crown every African priest. Hail his majesty. Hail him, King of glory. Hail him, might of the Trinity. Rastafari crown every African priest. Inequality, so while you play a gun talk, it don't bother me. Come follow me to the promised land. Hail the Almighty in a man.